What's going on, people? Just a quick little commentary I want to record before I go eat some dinner. Just gonna go eat some dinner, you know, type of thing you do every day. Today I want to talk about a little bit of a topic, and this topic is sniping. I have always, as I've said in the other video, I've always found myself to be a pretty good sniper as I get killed by the M16er with a failed quick scope. But I want to go over my quick little tips on being a sniper. If you're going to do quick scoping, if you're going to do no scoping, if you're going to do any sort of sniping, there's really no different tactic for each sort of snipe. There's not if you're no scoper, you're not supposed to just run out into the open. If you're a quick scope, you're not supposed to run out in the open. If you're a hard scope, you're not supposed to run out in the open. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean you have to camp in a corner all day. I mean, who wants to do that? But I do recommend you constantly check your radar. Now, I'm playing in hardcore here. This is where sniping gets really hard. Snipers generally will get one-shot kills. Now, putting yourself in hardcore, which is why I love hardcore, gives you advantages and disadvantages. The main disadvantages are well, first off, everyone else has a sniper. Technically speaking, I mean, you get one-shot kills with the Deagle and the M9 on this game type sometimes. So, I mean, everyone has a sniper in their hands. So, I mean, you're on the same plane, except those guys have automatic snipers that they can spray with. So that's a huge disadvantage in your part, but also on top of that, you have no radar, unless of course you get a UAV like I just got. What else? I mean, those are like the main disadvantages, I mean, which are pretty big ones actually. But the advantages are that you won't get hit markers as often, which are annoying as most snipers may know. And what else? You get little nice sexy headshot quick scopes. So you don't get as much hit markers. Collaterals are easier to hit. You can shoot through walls easily. It just makes a lot of things easier, but then again, it makes it 10 times harder. I feel it to be almost a challenge, because most people on hardcore, I've noticed, like to camp a lot. I mean, I usually don't play hardcore, but I mean, I wanted to play because I was getting sick of hit markers, but everyone camps on hardcore. It's not even funny. You got people camping in buildings. You got people camping in the back of spawn. I mean, it's just ridiculous as I get a double deagle. Guy wasn't moving, but the other guy was, so it's pretty legit. And this guy's martyrdom, I couldn't pick it up because usually I see the little grenade indicator or whatever, but I didn't know that in hardcore it doesn't show up. So yeah, so I'm sniping. Especially on hardcore, you need to just take your time and choose your shots wisely. In regular core, which is where most people snipe, obviously. You got issues like where if you take that shot, everyone's gonna turn around and start shooting at you, and you have a huge disadvantage at that point. You need to get people when they're not looking, or basically when they're not able to get a shot on you. This has to be done strategically, yet not campingly. I don't like camping at all. I think it's boring. So, I mean, what I like to do is I like to stick around the sides of the map and stay away from my teammates. And I like to, take some cover every once in a while. Like, as you can see here, I'm creeping around a lot. This is why I like this map. You can creep around a lot of these areas with these barrels and the trains and everything like that, and you can kind of look around. As you can see, I'm not camping in a corner, though. I mean, I'm always pushing forward, trying to push in their spawn, hoping to get collateral or something to the effect of that. And yeah, I mean, as far as quickscoping goes, you just need to get down one thing. What happens is, say you're doing, you know what a pop shot is, hopefully. A pop shot is when you don't see the crosshairs in the inside of your scope. Like that, yeah. So basically, when you don't see your crosshairs, the shot can go anywhere of many directions. I mean, you're still pretty much no-scoping at that point, which is why pop shots are considered more skillful to some extent. While the best way to quickscope is to get in your crosshairs for that split second and then fire. You need to time that right. You need to get used to how long it takes for your scope to scope into the crosshairs. Personally, I'm used to the way it is when you don't have Sleight of Hand Pro on, which is why when I had Modern Warfare 2, I never used Sleight of Hand. I used either Marathon or some to the effect of that. Sometimes I would use Sleight of Hand just because, if I'm in a quick scoping battle or something like that, I want us both to be on the same plane. But generally, I like to use Marathon because it helps me time it out better. Also, you're going to have to know how to line up your crosshairs. By crosshairs, I mean from the hip. And you're also going to need to know how to drag your scope. Because generally, once you quick scope, if you don't know where the guy is and you just randomly shoot, you're going to miss him. You need to drag your scope with your right analog stick towards where the guy was when you last saw him. This generally will be called a drag scope. Some, hardcore no scopers will call that a hard scope, but it really isn't. It's just a drag scope. This is a hard scope. See that? Now, another thing you're going to need to know, if you're in pubs at least, if you're playing 1v1s, yeah, you don't really need to worry about this. But in public matches, you might want to remember that, it's a game, and that if you want to do well in a game, you need to be strategic about certain things. So, for example, if someone's 20 miles away, and I'm trying to kill him, that's exaggerating, I'm going to hard scope. I mean, I'm always going to hard scope, mainly because it'll make it easier for me. But if someone's close, you might want to no scope. If someone's mid-range, you might want to quick scope, so on and so forth. The only times I make that exception, though, is when I'm trying to go for a sick montage shot or whatever. But otherwise, I'm always hard scoping at really long range, quick scoping at generally mid to long range, and I'll no scope sometimes close range, or if I'm doing the overgrown shot or whatever I'm doing for a montage. So that, lays down the basics of sniping and, decision making and stuff like that. You just need to be strategic about sniping. I mean, it's not always the easiest thing. Personally, I don't like sniping on Modern Warfare 2 because I think everyone's a quickscoper in Modern Warfare 2. Mainly because of the fact that if you have sleight of hand on, it gives you a huge advantage. I mean, anyone can quickscope with sleight of hand. I think it makes it way too easy. It makes the whole, nature of quickscoping, like, basically noobish, because everyone does it. So basically, sniping on COD 4 is my favorite thing to do, and hardcore just makes it better. So yeah, this gameplay, I mean, coming up to an end here, actually, but now that I'm done talking about sniping, this gameplay was pretty good. I got a really nice KD, and I was trying to be a little, a little strategic here, trying to build up my KD as high as I could so I can get a nice, good match. If you don't like this type of gameplay, even though this was a little fast-paced at certain points, I also have another really nice 33-7 match with the M4 carbine, where I was being aggressive basically the whole time, which is why my KD wasn't the best in the world. I mean, what is that, like a 4 KD, maybe a 5, a little under a 5 or a 4. So yeah, that'll be going up soon too. I mean, I'm trying to push out some commentaries, so I got those montages uploaded, and like I said, that guy who commented on my last video, the 29-3 sniper, dude, if you really want to get my channel exposure, I mean, even if you don't have subscribers, the best way to get a channel exposure, and this is just me saying this, is subscribe and support the channel, because the more comments and the more views and the more subscribers you have, the more, noticed your channel will get. If someone has a 18 subscriber channel with 10 views per video, that's not going to get as much recognition as a channel with, say, 100 subscribers and maybe 200 views per video. I mean, that's really the difference right there. So, I mean, I don't know if you subscribed or not, but you should. If you did, then thanks. And, yeah, I'm going to leave you with this glorious gameplay. There's only about a minute left. And, see you guys next time.
Time's almost up. Our UAV is online. Mission accomplished. Good work.